Okay, so this is a fairly involved problem. It requires a lot of steps, so be patient and stop and try these parts yourself first before proceeding and see what you can do. Okay, so here's the first thing that happens. What you have is you have uh, uh, a rod of length L and mass M that is initially at rest, and you have a putty that is moving, a clay putty that is moving with speed V, and it also has the same mass M as the rod, just to keep the calculation simple. It's going to collide with the end of the rod, okay, and it's going to get stuck somewhere at the end of the rod, and then the system is basically going to start swinging up. And we ask the question, what is the speed right after the collision, and then what is the maximum angle that is made? So the questions are simple, the calculations are a little tricky, so let's make sure that we understand all the components of this thing. Now, first let's ask the question, okay, let's understand that this is a collision problem, okay. Now let us also ask, what conservation law can we use? Can we use Pi equals Pf? Can we use Li equals Lf? Okay, so first of all, let's ask, can we use Pi equals Pf? Okay, and the answer is no, you cannot use Pi equals Pf, and the reason you cannot use Pi equals Pf is because the rod is pivoted. Okay, now if the rod were not pivoted, now what this pivot does is it provides an external force to the system. If it were not pivoted, you could have used Pi equals Pf. Okay, so if it was a free rod which is free to move the entire thing, then you could use Pi equals Pf. But here you cannot use Pi equals Pf because the rod is pivoted. So let's make sure that we understand that. Okay, so the answer is no. Okay, since it is pivoted. Okay, which means F external is not equal to 0. Alright, so that is why we cannot use that. So now let's ask the question, can we use Li equals Lf? So can we use Li equals Lf? Okay, and the answer is yes. And the reason, not yes, but yes, since tau external about the pivot is equal to 0. Okay, so tau external about the pivot is equal to 0. Since there are no external torques about the pivot, we can use that. So what we'll do is when we find this Li equals Lf, we need to make sure that we find it all about the pivot, because about that point the net external torque on the system is 0 right at the collision. Okay, so let's figure it out. So what is Li? Okay, so now that we can use this, Li equals Lf. Li itself is going to be equal to Li for the rod plus Li for the putty. Okay, and similarly we'll have Lf for the rod plus Lf for the putty. Now in the beginning the rod is not moving, so since omega is 0, it's simply I times omega for the rod, so it is I times 0. Okay, so I rod times 0. Okay, now for the clay putty, okay, in this case it is convenient to use our definition of angular momentum as P times R perp. Okay, if you recall from one of the previous videos, we found the moment of inertia. So we're finding, the angular momentum. And when we find the angular momentum about this pivot, all we need to know is how far is this momentum from the pivot. And the answer is very simple. It is L. Okay, so now that we have that, what we know is that the initial angular momentum is mv multiplied by L. So that, make sure that you understand this, refer to one of the previous videos. Okay, so previous video. Yeah, you know what that is. Okay, now LFR, the final angular momentum for the rod, is going to be equal to I times the omega for the rod. Okay, so I rod times omega, and plus it will be I of the putty times omega as well, because they're both going to have the same angular speed, and since now the putty is going to be performing a pure rotation, it's just easy to use IP times omega. Okay, now here, before we move on, it will be a quick exercise to find out what the I is for the rod. I hope that you can all do this, and if you're not sure, okay, just stop, calculate I of the rod about 1, and this is a calculation that you all need to know. Make sure that you just do it once if you do not recall the process, and I'm just going to assume the answer and I'm going to move on. Okay, so stop. Let's hope that you have calculated I rod, and you calculated I rod to have the following value. I rod you calculate what is equal to 1/3 times m times L square. If you got this, give yourself a pat on the back. And if not, then just make sure that you calculate it and take care of this business. By the way, this m is capital M. So what we have is we have mvl equals 1/3 ml square omega plus for the putties we can treat it as a point particle, and oops, what is going on? And its moment of inertia is simply going to be m times L square, and then we multiply it by omega. So now I can factor out the omega here. Actually, I don't need to, because 1/3 plus 1 is going to be 4/3, and since the masses are the same, these terms are the same. So this gives me omega, the m's cancel out. It's going to be 3v over 4L. Okay, so from the first part of the question, we answered the first part. Now once you know, no, actually we did not finish the answer, but once you know omega, we can find V. The V for the putty is going to be equal to omega times how far the putty is from the pivot, and it happens to be L, so it is simply equal to 3V over 4. Okay, the L's cancel out. Okay, so now we've answered the first part of our question, which is this. This is what we were looking for. Alright, now that we have this, let us now figure out how high the whole system travels. Okay, so this is slightly involved calculation here. So let's make sure that we understand this. And basically what you need to keep in mind here is once again, just we've done problems in the past where we had systems go up like this, and when you have an extended system, now it's not a point particle anymore because we have a rod along with the mass. Okay, we need to find the center of gravity for the system, the center of mass for the system, and once we find the center of mass, then everything is okay. So in this case, because of the simple nature of the fact that the two masses are equal, okay, we can find the center of mass. I'm just going to do the calculation anyway, because if the masses are different, or if the putty strikes the rod at a different point, okay, how do we go about calculating the center of mass? So the R center of mass, and we're going to measure everything from the pivot, is going to be equal to m times the mass of the rod times the distance of its center of mass, which is L over 2, plus the mass of the putty times its distance L divided by the total mass m. If you do this all correctly, you'll end up getting 3/4 L, okay, which is what we expect because of the symmetry here. So the center of mass is right here, which is 3/4 of 3/4 L from the end. Okay, so now in order to do the rest of the problem, we're going to use MEI equals MEF, and at the bottom the entire system simply has rotational kinetic energy, which is equal to 1/2 times I times omega square. This is for the entire system. And at the top, all we have is total potential energy. The mass, total mass, is 2m times g times h. Okay, and h itself, if you recall, is going to be equal to this 3/4 L times 1 minus cosine of theta. Okay, if you do not remember how to get this, just draw a triangle there and make sure that you obtain this result. Okay, 3/4 L times 1 minus cosine of theta. So once we have this, the moment of inertia for the entire system is the moment of inertia for the rod, which is 1/3 ml square about the pivot, plus the moment of inertia for the putty, which is ml square, and then times omega square, and we found omega to be 3v over 4l. So it is 3v over 4l the whole square, and all this is equal to 3/2 mgl times 1 minus cosine of theta. Okay, so let's simplify this. We get 1/2 times 4/3 ml square times 9 over 16 v square over l square, that is equal to 3/2 mgl times 1 minus cosine of theta. Okay, and if you simplify all this, what you end up getting are the 9's cancel out. You have okay, let's see this. 3, all these cancel out. 4 you have 2 cancels out, so you have 1/4. Alright, so you have 1/4. The m cancels out, one of the l's cancels out. No, actually L squared. Okay, so this 1/4 v square over g times L is equal to 1 minus cosine of theta, and from here we can find cosine theta. Cosine theta equals 1 minus 1 over 4 v square over gl, and that's your answer. Okay, I hope I haven't made any silly mistake. Just check this out to make sure that this is all correct. Alright, so that is it for this problem.